Ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears and your eyes. Diva Divine Light, live from Brooklyn, New York.
Know the lane for what you saying, yo. Said it with my 9 million with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club, I be while in the studio. You don't wanna violate, nigga, really and truly, yo. My main thug, nigga named Julio, he moody, yo. Like a nigga that'll slap you with the toolie, yo. Bitch, nigga scared to death, act fruity, yo. Fuck that, look at shorty, she a little cutie, yo. The way you shake it, make me wanna get all in the booty, yo. With no delaying for what you saying, yo.
Diva Divine Light.
Really my heart to me. Fuck me, see what you got for me. Put more than dance with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. Fuck me, see what you got for me. Put more than dance with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you.
You're watching Diva, the Divine Light. A fun-loving, caring, passionate person who talks about sex, celebrity, and real-life issues, and even abuse. So hit that like button and make sure you share the show.
Really my heart to me. Fuck me, see what you got for me. Put more than dance with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. Fuck me, see what you got for me. Put more than dance with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. Fuck me, see what you got for me. Put more than dance with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. Fuck me, see what you got for me. Put more than dance with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide. Another combo.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah. Well, I took a long ass nap. I can't even believe I fell asleep. I actually wanted to come on earlier. But I crashed. I was just so tired after that bull snap. After that bull snap that was going on earlier this afternoon, girl, I told my ladies, I was like, ladies, I'm about to just hit one, take a nice shower, lay down and relax, because this girl got me on 1,000. Like, I'm ready. Where are we going? I'm ready. You know what? That bitch did her job. She wanted to get a rise. She wanted to get a rise, and she knew how to do it. So props to you, bitch, for getting a rise out of a bitch. Okay. Thanks. I needed that. I needed that excitement in my life for like 20 minutes. Because that's all you did was get me excited. That's all you did was get me excited. Yes. Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone in the building. What's up? My sister Jackie, Vanetta, Sonia, Kayla. Y'all was ready to pull a bitch's hair out. Girl. Lasting impressions. What's up, Kim? Nanya. Babe, you already know we was ready on Smash. We was ready. We was on Smash. Okay. So I just needed to get that out real quick. I apologize. Que chica, you missed it. Girl, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. La mujer quería una puño en la cara de ella. Eso es lo que pasó. Eso es lo que pasó. Okay. Yeah, Kayla, girl. Listen, I'm glad she was busy doing other things because that my sister right there would have been on 10 too. She would have been ready to go right through the screen. This is how we were feeling. Rockin', babe, I love you. Yo, Rockin' was on 10 too. She was on 1,000. I'm sorry, we was past 10. We was on 1,000. The group was on 1,000. Like, you wasn't just making shots at one person. You were making shots at the whole group. You pointed out fingers and then you pointed out to the whole group. Like, girl, you crazy. Go over there. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're bored? Your pussy itch? I don't understand. Listen, don't take it out on me that your shit got critter bugs in it and you want to scratch it when you feel like it. You know, mm, mm, mm. So, yes, please don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. Yes, she was. I didn't know what was going on with her at that point when she was, because I was in the situation, and then I'm blocked, so I couldn't type. And then when I went to click on the link, something was wrong with the link. I couldn't even. It wasn't even because it just said StreamYard.com. It didn't have all the other numbers and all that other shit to it. So I clicked on it and I'm like, why is this? And it kept just, bumping me out like it wasn't working. I don't know if anybody else tried to click the link. Did anybody else try to click the link? Because I know I wasn't the only crazy one. Please, somebody else tell me that they tried to hit that link earlier. Kayla did that. She said I had to hide my phone. Oh, man. All right. So, guys, I really didn't want to address that in this particular live. But I can't help it. I have to say something. So I'm taking up like 11 minutes for this chick. That's all I'm giving her is 11 minutes. Joshua, close your door. Okay, you need to watch your mouth. Tone it down. I'm on a live. Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. You know my man. You know my little man when he starts raging on the game. It's the funniest thing when this boy starts raging. And my husband, he's getting, he's feeling better. Thank God. And my voice is a little scratchy, guys. So please, please, please forgive me. Because I did that little yelling earlier on Tears Live. And I said to myself, why did I even start yelling? I should have just talked. But I just went on 1,000. I get very emotional, guys. I'm on 1,000. I'm ready. I'm ready to take off. That's the problem. I don't like when I'm like that. I don't like that shit. I don't like it. Don't like it. Hey, Take. What's up, man? Yeah. A mess is what you miss, mommy. Don't worry. You ain't miss nothing. The Team Zebra had a problem today. I don't know. She woke up with, like I said, she had crabs in her shit. I don't know. They was itching her and she was just scratchy. Yes, thank you, Nanya. Yes, I'm glad that the hubby's getting better, So, guys, I tried to get Cash to come on today and do the reading with me, but she went out on a date with her son. So I'm glad she's having a good time doing her thing with her baby. Family and other things are so much more important than these fucking YouTube streets, okay? Family is more important. Okay. So, yeah. So, the name of the book, guys, is Daddy's Girl, Daddy's Little Freak, Sex Me, Daddy's Little Freak by Cash Jones. Now we know who is the actual author. When I first read this book, I did not know who was the true author. First, it was Latoya X, it was Geronda Pace, it was Cash Jones. We didn't know. It was a mystery until she did come out and she admitted that it was her who wrote the book. So now we know that she's the one who wrote Sex Me, Daddy's Little Freak. And she actually published it in 2019, I believe it was. She said, or 18, right? But she changed it and put it in 2016 to throw everybody off. Sneaky little devil. And I'm glad we had her on the show. That was a great live the other day. I really, really appreciated her coming forth. Like I said, I know she can't speak her whole truth. You know, you can't really speak your whole truth to the world like that. This is what happens in these types of cases. Like, this is a high profile case. You know, you can't. So some people have to hold back, especially the people that know him. They have to hold back. They can't say it all. You know, you really can't say it all until that one day, all of it will come out. You know, and it might be a few years from now. He'll be in there, sitting in there, rotting, and the people will just start slowly but surely coming out. Maybe writing books, maybe doing certain interviews. This is going to happen because it's a lot. This man has damaged a lot of lives. So let's start off with chapter 12, because chapters 12 through 16 were deleted from YouTube. So I'm doing these chapters all over again. All right. For those who have not read the book, you guys can go and go to my playlist in my channel, go to the playlist section, and I have a playlist in there called Diva's Book Club. And you guys can find the book and you guys can read the chapters if you have not, listen to the chapters if you have not read or heard about the book. Okay. And thank you, by the way, guys, for hitting that like button on your way in. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So chapter 12. Don't you say no. Now I'm going to have to bleep words out, guys, okay? Because this was the problem with the first set. And I'm not going to put the words on the screen. All right? So, because that could have been another thing, is that I had the words on the screen. So, you know, when she went graphic, I didn't hide them. So that was my bad. All right. Don't you say no. Life couldn't have been any better for me at this point. I felt like I was on top of the world. Things were just too good to be true. Daddy and me were spending lots of time together. He was always doing and saying the sweetest things and showering me with gifts, designer bags, shoes, shopping sprees. Now we know that's all lies. Those were my words. It was like every girl's dream. I never had much growing up, and I didn't know my parents. It was always just me and grandma. So imagine me being showered with all these compliments, affection, and gifts. There wasn't anything he wouldn't do for me, and I was pleased. Sexually, I was now a butterfly. He had me more open than I'd ever thought I could be, and it felt good. My confidence level was through the roof in all areas, and I was always glowing. Then there was this one night. I think Daddy felt like he had been doing enough of what I wanted to do, and it was time for me to do things his way. He shot me a text and told me to head over to a suite a few levels above mine. So I did. And what I found there was in no shape, form, or fashion what I imagined. I knocked 3 times, as always, and Daddy answered the door. From what I see, it was dark as hell, and there were candles burning. He didn't speak, just kissed me and opened my robe to make sure I was naked as he requested. And I was naked with black stilettos on. He seemed pleased. He cornered me right by the door, started sucking on my areolas. Wait. Okay. He started sucking on my areolas and and gliding his fingers where the vajayjay. Yeah, that area. It felt so good. I just leaned back and closed my eyes. I couldn't control my moans. He took his fingers out of me and slid them into my mouth so I could taste the juices. I told him it tastes so good. And then tongue kissed him so he could see. Immediately after, he cuffed and blindfolded me, then led me into the dark room. He stopped me and told me to touch my toes. I bent over and did as I was told. I could feel him spreading my cheeks. You know which cheeks, the ones on the bottom. Smacking them. And eventually, I felt his tongue and lips biting and kissing my ass all over. And then I felt his tongue and lips all over my vajayjay. Or so I thought. The hands I felt touching me weren't manly at all this time. And then I heard moans, female moans. I heard Daddy say, "Oh, fuck yeah. Put it in her ass, then put her on the bed. I want a clear shot of this. I want both of you to fuck her. To flip on her. Eat her vajayjay and blank. You finger her and you better not stop, even if she begs. Don't stop till I tell you to." I felt one of them shove their fingers in my ass. Oh, it felt like she put something inside me. But before I knew it, I didn't feel like myself. Something was happening. My vajayjay was already a river flowing. It instantly became 10 times wetter. Felt like I broke out into a cold sweat, but I felt so good. It felt like one more lick would make me climax. Still cuffed, they laid me down. Understand this was in no way what I thought I'd be doing in this suite, but I swear I couldn't speak. Her head had me gripping the sheets above my head. It was so fucking good. All I could get out was moans. I felt the other fingering me, and I found myself guiding her. Mmm. Flittick. Oh, snap. Right there. Go faster. OMG. I'm gonna come. I could hear Daddy moaning too. I was in ecstasy. When I woke up, the girls were gone, and Daddy was sitting down, smoking and drinking. I stretched, yawned, and went to sit next to Daddy on the couch. He asked me how I slept and poured me a shot. He handed me a pill and told me he wanted to try something a little different. There goes those ecstasy pills. Uh-huh. That's my words. That's my words. I'm interjecting here. I saw a line of perico. Okay. A line of ski on the table. There was a line of some ski on the table. At the time, I had no idea, but Daddy told me to snort. And as I told him, I slept real good. I downed the pill, the brown, and snorted the line. Daddy instantly went to kissing and licking on me. He was rock hard. I could feel it. And judging by the pill, that line, and the drink, I knew it was going to be a long night. Daddy instructed me to play with my guitar while he touched himself. I did as I was told. My hand was covered in my juices in no time, and Daddy came to relieve me. He ate it while staring into my eyes. I told him I wanted some of Daddy's DIC in my booty. He looked surprised. Hell, so was I. But he didn't hesitate to beat this guitar up and flip me over. I felt Daddy snort a few lines off my cheeks. Oh! He cleaned my rear end with his tongue, and the rest was history. Girl. Chapter 13, Love Land. From there it was on. We went on tour, and every night there were so many girls, so many drinks, so many drugs, so much sex. First, it was the weed, then the MDMA, and the COKE. Okay. Liquor was always in heavy rotation. He kept me so high, intoxicated, that oftentimes I couldn't tell one day from the next. And I believe that. I believe that. I believe those girls went through that. Even though this is a fictional book, there's so many things in here that she nailed on shit. Like, and even if she made shit up, it was just, you can visualize these girls actually going through some of these things. Because the way they told their stories. That's just my opinion. I'm interjecting here. So he kept me so intoxicated. All I knew for sure is that there'd be more partying and more sex And as long as I was under the influence of something, I was always in the mood. I remember before every encounter, he'd free me. I'm sorry, he'd feed me X or ski ski and say, "You ready to go to Loveland, baby?" Oh, Lord. I could picture R. Kelly really doing that. You ready to go to Loveland, baby? And he 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 took me away in the Sprinter. He effed me in the Sprinter. In dressing rooms, restrooms, the suites, studio, strip clubs, anywhere we were was a potential sex scene. Okay. He took his fingers and it happened at the dinner table. You know what he did, right? Okay. Under blankets while traveling, made me suck on his thing in front of employees. He kept me open and ready. Mid tour, he had me so open, I began scouting new girls for us to play with, as he called it. I had upgraded from the little girl who was just laid back and took shit. I was now dominating bitches in bed. I was eating vajayjay. I was eating booty. And I was humping daddy any way he liked. I didn't know who I was becoming. All I know is it felt good. I was daddy's little freak. I did what I was told, occasionally talked back, and fulfilled all of his sexual desires. Let me interject here. Let's pause for a second. This little part that she's saying here makes me wonder, I wonder if this was kind of like the role that Azriel played. What do you think, guys? I don't know. I'm just saying, like if you could picture it and think about it, and picture what you're listening to right now, and you could picture that was Cookie Bear. Mhm. Whoosh. We smashed so many bitches together, I lost count. Anybody he wanted, we did, including my ex best friend and cousin. Yeah. Now, this is a funny part here that she put this part in here, role playing with tutus. I don't know what that is. And sexy schoolgirl uniforms. Oh, tutus. Tutus. Role playing with tutus and sexy schoolgirl uniforms were his favorite. He liked the look of seduction wrapped in innocence, or at least that's what I convinced myself it was at the time. After every encounter, he would always carry me to the bed and give me head or smash me until I nutted, what felt like a million times. He would always whisper to me how happy I made him and freed me more and fed me more liquor or more drugs. I used to black out a lot back then. I'm guessing from all the alcohol consumption, I have broken memory of our sexcapades during the height of my drug abuse. But certain things he used to say will never leave me. It's imprinted in my head. Mmm, this tight little guitar. Oh, daddy loves his little young fat guitar. You drive me crazy, baby. I love you so much. Daddy told you he'd always make you feel good, right? All you ever need is daddy to make you feel good. You make daddy so happy, baby. My little princess, my little freak. I always remember hearing these words before I slipped into what I felt like a temporary coma. He always whispered it to me while feeding me long strokes. I loved his eggplant, and even more while flying. I was jet high. I remember one night specifically. We had just left the strip club late from an orgy with 5 dancers. I came so many times I could barely walk upon existing. I ate more vajayjay that night than I ever had, and I liked it. Me and one dancer enjoyed ourselves a little too much. I don't know how many body shots or blunts we had, but we bumped coochies until there was literally a huge puddle underneath us. Daddy loved it. While we smashed, he watched as he took one dancer from behind. She had a mouth full of vajayjay, and 2 others sucked on his dang-a-lang and his bolas as he went in and out. Meanwhile, Ray taped it all and jacked his he jacked his thing. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta pause for a minute. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a quick break, my daughter. Okay. Let's go back. I can't see you guys on what's the screen on what you guys are saying or anything because I'm reading. So I'm not paying attention to the chat because my phone is dead and it's over there charging. All right, so let's continue. After we left, I remember being in the Sprinter and him laying me down. He touched all over me. He began to massage my guitar and asked me how I felt about sex with other men. I remember faintly asking him through moans how he wanted me to feel, and he said, "That's a good girl. I got something waiting for you inside in the suite." Upon our return, he had Ray carry me to the room. I remember him tossing me over his shoulder. The staff knew us well, so there was no cause for alarm with my half conscious body thrown upon his shoulder. Oh, Lord. You could just picture this. When we entered the suite, Ray gently laid me down. I expected him to leave per usual, but he took off his jacket and shoes as if he were getting comfortable. Daddy did the same. They poured up and smoked a stogie. I remember Ray asking him if he was sure I was ready for this. Oh, yeah, she's ready. She's ready. Daddy stood up and stripped from head to toe. I'm not sure if they thought I was laying there blacked out, but my eyes were wide open in amazement because the next thing you knew, Ray was giving Daddy head. I laid there and listened to them both moaning. Now I knew Daddy watched gay porn, but in all our encounters, this was a first. He signaled Ray to stop and strip, then headed over to me. I shut my eyes. He gave my JJ a big wet kiss, and my body shivered. Then he played with my fiddle and kept whispering, "Wake up, baby." I stretched and opened my eyes. He told me to come sit on Daddy's, I did as I was told. I looked around but saw no Ray. Where'd he go? I thought. But I straddled Daddy as he lifted my dress over my head. I was so wet. Daddy slid in and filled my walls with no difficulty. We both moaned as I dipped and grind on his. I kept moaning and saying, "Daddy, I love you." He said, "Do you?" And my response through moans was, "Of course I do. Yes, Daddy." He started to smash me back and said, "Well, show me. Come here, Ray." I looked around with a shocked face, and to my surprise, Ray's eggplant stood at attention in my face, and it was huge. My eyes grew wide, and Daddy stroked me gently and told me to relax. He told me he shared everything with Ray. And now it was time for me to share some of my good stuff with him. He told me we were a family, and family made me each other feel good. Ray began to gently kiss my shoulders and whispered, "You don't know how long I've been waiting for this." Then he picked me up and carried me to the bed. I didn't know what to do. I liked Ray and all. We had We had grown close, but I never thought in a million years we'd be. And then he stuck his face in my vajayjay. Oh my God. His head game, it was driving me crazy. Flit up, it was good, but I was terrified to moan. Daddy was the only man I'd ever been with, and I knew his temper. I remember asking Daddy if he was sure it was okay. He shook his head yes, laid back, and jacked off while filming. Ray got up and eased his eggplant in me. His eyes rolled in the back of his head as he went in moaning. He laid on top of me and long stroked me as he kissed me so passionately. After a 10 count, I found myself throwing it back, and he was thrusting deeper and deeper. He growled in my ear. He was so manly, it turned me on. His scent, those tattoos, that chocolate skin, and that huge eggplant. It was everything. He kept saying, flit up, flip, flippin', flippin', flip, flip, flippity, flip, flip, as he went faster and faster. He was whispering my name while his arms shook, and he found himself no longer in push up position over me, but laid lazily on my shoulder. He never stopped stroking, though. He kept whispering, this vajayjay so good, girl. Ooh, I see why this, my brother. I see why. I just laid back in total ecstasy and took of every inch Ray had to give. I wrapped my legs around him and pushed his ass deeper in me with my feet. I wanted all that good meat. I didn't want him to ever stop. He was better than R. Kelly. He was better than R. Kelly, but she couldn't say nothing. She had to keep it to herself. Oh, man. This was a good book, Cash. I got to give you credit, yo. I'm telling you, it's a good book. So then, Daddy's eggplant was good, but he was everything. Those growls had me nutting all over the place. He sucked and licked on my areolas, then started sucking on my neck, and it drove me crazy. He whispered in a very low voice that he was gonna put his name in this vajayjay because it was now his. Then started tongue kissing me. I almost forgot Daddy was in the room until I saw him hovering over us. He smacked Ray on the ass and said, that's enough. But something got into Ray and he didn't stop. Daddy said, Ray, that's enough. Ray was growling and taking this for JJ. All I could do was claw Ray's back because I was about to come. Daddy yelled, Ninja, that's enough. What the flitter? What the flippity flipping? But I was moaning, Ray, don't stop. And he didn't until he nutted. Then he looked me in my eye and kissed me on the lips. I was so freaking turned on. Daddy looked like he wanted to kill Ray. And Ray gave him a look like, what, ninja? Per Daddy's request, they entered the other room. I just stayed put. Shortly after, Daddy called me into the other room where I found Ray laid out naked on the bed. Daddy cuffed my ass and picked me up. He asked me, he kissed me and put himself inside me right where he stood. He smashed me real good before tossing me on the bed next to Ray. He told Ray to get up and he laid down and signaled me to get on top. So I did. Daddy smashed my ass as if I needed to get on my job. So I put him inside me and began to ride. I could feel the warmth from Ray's body behind me, and then I felt what felt like Ray thrusting. I quickly looked back, and as I was riding Daddy, Ray was smashing him in the booty. I was shocked. The only thing I'd ever seen go in Daddy's booty was that dildo. I know he told me the male G-spot was back there, but this was next level. I know my thoughts were written all over my face. Ray leaned up and started kissing my neck and rubbing my breast from behind. I just kept riding. I told myself I had to stop thinking so much and just live in the moment. Ray started fondling my vajayjay while I rode Daddy, and I squirted everywhere. By the time the sun came up, there was eggplant resting in my vajayjay and another in my booty. My God, I had just had sex with two bisexual men and I liked it. He had created a fucking monster. Girl! Okay, I'm not knocking nobody, okay? I'm bisexual. And that's a dream for any bisexual person. I'm here to tell you that, okay? All right. Chapter 14. Let's be real now. Funny how time flies when you're having fun, right? Allow me to share the morning of my 18th birthday with you. You hear that, y'all? 18th birthday now. Now she's 18. She was 17 all this time. Now remember, it's legal in Chicago. Okay. We were just getting off a tour. I just so happened to wake up before Rob one morning, which rarely happens because he rarely sleeps. But I went to the bathroom and there was so much pain. I looked at my area and saw what looked like blisters at the entrance. I freaked the F out. Rob walked in and asked me what was wrong. I started crying as I showed him. I told him I needed to go to the doctor ASAP, like I was really freaking out. He told me to calm down and he'd call his in-house physician. Daddy doesn't do hospitals. I really wanted to go alone, but he wouldn't let me. He said people knew I was his girl, and because he's a celebrity, they would do creepy shit like try to sell my hospital records, etc. So I agreed to be seen by this in-house doctor. Well, we'll call him Dr. Smith. Yeah. What's his real name, guys? What's the doctor's name? Dr. McGrath. That's the doctor. Dr. McGrath made a house call, y'all. Yeah. I remember when I first did this book, I was like, who is this Dr. Smith? We need this guy on the stand here. And guess what, guys? Dr. Smith, as we all know him to be Dr. McGrath, but in the book, he's Dr. Smith. Wow. You see, so this is why this book was really confusing. You know, like, how can you say this is a made-up book and you did such a great job of taking certain elements from certain things that she knew and just put it together? Oh, Lord, I tell you. So we'll call him Dr. Smith. It was so awkward laying on a hotel bed, getting checked by some strange white man. She even described him. But I was dying to know what was wrong. I was only 18 and had never had so much as a yeast infection. I was so scared. When Dr. Smith finished his examination, he wrote some things down and treated me as if I was an infant. He didn't tell me what he'd found. He went to Daddy. He gave Daddy the medication and told him everything that needed to be done. I was pissed. Hello? Like, what the flick? So I impatiently harassed Rob about the results. He just looked pissed and sat in the corner looking out the room window. He slid me the paper without looking at me. I quickly snatched it. Hell, he can barely read anyway, so I didn't know why the hell the doctor gave it to him in the first place. My stomach dropped as soon as I read it. What? I couldn't believe this. I'd never seen anything other than a mole on his penis. Was I reading this correctly? Then the tears started flowing, and all I could do was ask him why. He didn't say a word. He just kept looking out the window. I started yelling and screaming, "Look at me, Rob! Look at me! Why? Answer me, damn it!" I knew he knew. I just knew he knew. How could you do this? How could he do this to me? And then sit there like he didn't even care. This was my life. This was some shit I'd have to live with forever. I couldn't believe it. And do y'all know he never even looked at me? No eye contact and no explanation. Once I stopped yelling, I just lay down, sobbing in my pillow. He got up from the chair and said, with my back turned to him, "You said you wanted me, right? And everything that came with me. Now you got to deal with it." Let me tell you something. When she said that line, the first time I read it, girls, that felt so real. Like, wow. And supposedly this book, she knew certain things, but I tell you, this is a crazy book, guys. Let's continue. Then she quotes a quote that he says, "I'll make sure you get your medicine." And just like that, he left the room, slammed the door, and we never discussed our condition again. I remember I tried to bring it up once before a session we had with these two chicks he had me recruit. If they don't ask, you don't tell them. And if they do ask, there's nothing to tell. And this was his words. After over a year, I was finally meeting the real him, cold-blooded. Chapter 15, Down Low. Meanwhile, Daddy had for sure started some shit. I honestly didn't know how to kick. For 6 months, me and Ray creeped around. Every day Daddy left, Ray would leave post and break all his damn rules. I remember the first time Daddy left for his normal all-nighter at the studio. I heard the door open as I was drying off in the bathroom. I thought for sure maybe he forgot something. But as I bent over to dry my legs, I smelled Ray's cologne. And then I felt him push up behind me. Ray was always so gentle with me. He knew just what my body needed. But most of all, he knew just what I needed. I was so torn and it was odd. It was like Ray had changed. He was still very protective of me, but he definitely didn't seem like much of a fan of Daddy these days. He filled me up with information per usual, but this information terrified me, and I couldn't help but question if he had just made these things up because he had fallen for me. He went against my initial request of not mentioning the girls to share horror stories of Daddy locking them up, starving them for days, beating them, and even told me, in addition to the live-in girls, Daddy was helping run a sex trafficking ring and kept a larger amount of girls in an abandoned warehouse he purchased under a runner's name. I was so confused. He painted Daddy to be this monster, and for the most part, I felt like it was bullshit. But something in my gut, as crazy as it sounds, believed it. My behavior around Daddy began to change. I would jump when he'd move his hand. Everything made me nervous. Those stories he those stories had me bugging. I started paying extra close attention to everything he did, said, his body language, just everything. I didn't take any of the drugs he fed me anymore. I'd just fake it and spit it out when he wasn't looking. I took Ray's advice and no longer allowed him to fix my food. I didn't eat or drink anything he gave me. Ray told me he had been drugging me the majority of the time through food and drink. And that's why I was always so tired and blacked out so much. It was crazy, but now that I was paying attention and making changes, I did feel a lot better. I had plenty of energy, and my thought process and memories were spotless, unlike before. When I was with Daddy, I just stare at him like, who the hell is this man? I knew we'd fought before, but I always knew I was crazy as hell and had a mouth that could make make a ninja want to slit my throat. I could really be a bitch when I wanted to be, but damn, could he really be beating these bitches and locking them up? Nah, he couldn't be. But then again, this was the same man who knowingly gave me an incurable disease, showed no compassion, and told me to deal with it. I remember asking Ray if all this was true. How could he live with himself, basically helping this man kidnap and abuse young girls and women? Some things are easy to get into and harder to get out of. Your daddy has some pretty dangerous gang affiliations, and ninjas really do come up missing behind a lot of this stuff. My mama always told me to ease my way out of the lion's mouth. If I took nothing else from my time with Ray, those words were imprinted in my mind. Always ease your way out of the lion's mouth. I had no idea that conversation would be my last with Ray. I never saw him again. And when I asked Daddy what happened to him, he never answered me. Chapter 16. I can't sleep if I woke up from what felt like the best nap ever. Daddy always drained and put me to sleep. I went to use the restroom, ignoring his latest odd request of me urinating in that bowl. I thought it was ridiculous, and he knew from past experiences when I had my mind made up about something. There was no changing it. I yawned, rubbed my eyes, and stretched my body out. It was quiet, so I figured daddy left. I went on to tackle my usual shower routine: brush my teeth, wash my face, my hair, and you know the drill. After my shower, amid me brushing my teeth, daddy appeared. He hugged me from behind and kissed me gently on my shoulder, neck, and cheeks. He told me how beautiful I was and how lucky he was to have me. He always knew just what to say to make me blush or smile. I turned around to hug him, but noticed he looked a little different. If there's one thing I know about daddy, it's that he hides behind those shades. I went for the glasses and he stopped me, but I snatched them off anyway. When I looked into his eyes, I could tell he had been crying. He immediately hung his head low. It's crazy, but when it came to him, my motherly instincts instantly kicked in. I always wanted to protect him at all costs. With his face in the palm of his hands, I lifted his head and kissed him 100 times. I could taste the salt from his tears, but I didn't care. He was hurting, and that meant I was hurting too. I didn't know what was wrong, but I never forced him to talk. I understood it was hard for him to open up, but I knew when he was ready he would. He hugged me so tight, I thought he'd break my ribs, but I knew he needed me. I just rubbed him gently and told him I was here and that I wasn't going anywhere. He picked me up and took me to my bed. He made love to me, and during, he cried. I wanted to know what was on his mind so bad, but I just wiped his tears and let him have me any way he wanted. Afterwards, we just laid there quietly, watching the ceiling fan. After about 10 minutes, he finally began to talk. He told me he was scared. He told me it had been a long time since he felt how he felt about me, about anyone. He told me he knew what I thought about him and all these women, but he honestly had no feelings attached. He said his greatest fear is being alone. So he's been trying to fill this void, but it seems like no matter how many women he's had, it's never filled. But then there's you. He told me I challenged him. You don't let me just do anything and everything to you. You're strong, and I can be myself with you. You've accepted me for everything that I am, and you've never judged me or made me feel bad. Baby girl, I'm feeling like I'm falling in love with you, and I'm scared. I'm scared you'll leave, and I know I can't handle it if you do. I can't even sleep unless I know you're near. There goes that gaslighting. You know, there's so many things in this book, guys. I was in shock. I didn't know what to say. He wanted me to promise him I'd always stay no matter what. He told me he was ready to go all the way with me, but I would stay even if he messed up. I told him I would, and it kills me sitting here reliving this moment because I did leave. But anyway, he fell asleep laying on my chest, and I just watched him. It was then that I realized I was really falling in love with this man. I didn't give a damn about the rumors. I didn't give a damn about his problems. I just loved him. I was in love with him. I'm going to read chapter 17 anyway. Barely breathing. The next few months were interesting. Daddy had been talking marriage a lot and drilling me with a million and one what if scenarios. I guess I was excited about it too, but I can't lie. Him keeping me separate from those chicks didn't make me forget they existed. I wanted them gone. If he wanted to go all the way with me, I felt that should have been all he needed. I don't know when he'd see them or even where they were, but I just knew he wasn't done with them. I remember waking up feeling really bitchy one day. I have something called PPMD. So I have serious ass mood swings right before that time of the month. But I woke up feeling really bitchy. Showered, did my thing, and got back in the bed. I don't know where the hell he was, but it was probably best he wasn't around because I was in a sour ass mood. And out of nowhere, I just started wondering where those bitches were. Was he still sleeping with them? Was he still seeing them? Would I have to deal with them throughout our marriage? Was that what he meant by even if he messed up? My thoughts were racing and I became angry. In the midst of my racing thoughts, Daddy FaceTimed me. Oddly, his timing was always in sync with my thoughts. His face lit up when he saw me. I could tell he was in the studio by his background. He asked if I was okay and if I needed anything. I told him I was and that I didn't. He asked if I was sure I was okay, and I told him yes. He said, okay, just wanted to check on me, and he loved me. I just hung up. 45 minutes later, he was waking me up with kisses. I asked what he was doing back so early. I honestly thought he'd be in the studio all night. And he said, what kind of a man would I be if I didn't know when something was right with my baby? I can't lie. Him saying that made me smile, but my thoughts were running wild. He sat down and signaled for me to come sit on his lap. I did, and he asked what was on my mind. I instantly started crying. My tears were like a waterfall, and I'll never forget how overprotective and angry he got. He thought someone had did something to me or said something crazy. I told him that wasn't it. So he calmed down and said in the softest voice, well, baby, tell daddy what's wrong. You know you can talk to me. I looked him in his eyes and called him by his first name. And I never do that. But I asked him if he was still seeing those girls. He laughed. And I was infuriated. He was like, calm down, Rocky. Is that what you're worried about? I told him yes. I told him I didn't want to share him with anybody anymore. I told him I wanted them gone. I told him I wouldn't be with him if he didn't get rid of them. I told him I couldn't. He separated himself from me while rolling his eyes, said he was leaving because I was tripping. I just sat there looking dumbfounded because I couldn't believe he was really giving me the cold shoulder over this. When he left, he slammed the door so hard I felt like the floor rumble. I knew he was pissed. I just started crying again. My thoughts continued to race. But now I was thinking, damn, did I mess up? Maybe I should have just let stuff flow. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. But then there was that voice that was like, don't you dare feel guilty for knowing your worth and putting your foot down. Don't you dare compromise your happiness for him. Don't you dare. Daddy didn't come back that night, nor the next day, the night, nor the next. He didn't call either, not even a text. If I was any other bitch, perhaps I wouldn't have called him. But I'm me. And not even this ninja could cut my pride down to the point where I'd call his ass when I knew I was right. Anytime I even thought about it, I just replayed his tears in my mind and the conversation we had in bed. He wanted me. He loved me. He's pissed, but he'll come around. So I went about my days as normal. I worked out. I read books. I found a dance class to attend. And I did my thing day in and day out. I left and returned my suite with no issue. I even took myself shopping and got me a swimsuit. Found myself hitting the pool late night one night. I was missing him like crazy. I can't lie. But figured maybe a late night swim would clear my mind. I didn't though. I kept thinking about how good he was probably looking on somebody's basketball court right now. Daddy loved to play ball at night and he was damn good at it. Ugh, tighten up, I told myself. I got out the pool, dried off, and enjoyed the breeze hitting my ass cheeks as I walked back to the room in my bikini. When I entered the room, there he was, and he was pissed. I saw an empty bottle of Hennessy on the table next to a melting cup of ice. My heart skipped a beat. I don't know why, but I was terrified. I could tell he had been drinking, and the look in his eyes was more than anger. I could tell he had something else in his system as well. Three things Daddy liked for sure: the JJ, a stiff drink, and his drugs. He looked at me and said, "You know what time it is?" But before I could blink, he rushed me and lifted me clean off the ground by my throat. He snatched the towel from me and hit me repeatedly, asking what the flip was my problem. Who the flip did I think I was playing? Who the flip I had on, and was I flipping? Who the F I had on and who I was smashing? You think I'm one of these dumb ass cats? What the F you take me for, huh? Who the F you been with? You know I don't play that shit. I couldn't breathe. So I just knew he couldn't have realistically expected me to speak. But he did, because the next thing you know, he squeezed my throat harder and said, "Answer me, bitch." I just cried. He slapped me so hard I temporarily went blind in one eye. He ripped off my thong and threw me on the bed with one arm. He held me down, and with the other he checked my vajayjay. I couldn't believe him. I just remember thinking, wow, you disappeared on me for days and don't call, but you checking to see if I've been unfaithful? Ninja, I should be checking you. The nerve of him. After he was done with his stupid ass finger check, it should come as no surprise what he did next. Yes, he smashed me. I still remember how painful it was when he shoved it in. He smashed me for what felt like hours. Picture moans, the JJ compliments, and threats combined. He cussed me out the entire time, telling me what I better not do and what he'd do if I did this or that. Let me find out. He kept saying that shit. By dawn, he had nutted in me 3 times and passed out with his penis still inside me. He was snoring so loud in my damn ear, I couldn't think straight. And I could feel his eggplant fluctuating from soft to hard all night. By the time the sun came up, I had to pee so bad, and I wanted his heavy ass off me. But he woke up with a rock hard eggplant. I literally felt it grow and fill my walls as he started moaning and humping me again. His whole body shook as he fed me long strokes, whispering in my ear how good my vajayjay was and how he was going to beat my vajayjay every morning for life. I was disgusted. And that is the end of that, guys. For the rest of the book, go to my playlist and follow the chapters, guys. So I'm going to drop the link. Let's see here. I'm going to drop the link for anybody who wants to come in and comment on these few chapters I read. If you would like to, you can come on up. You're more than welcome. If not, Lordship, get your ass up here. Get your ass up here. I dropped the link. I want you up here. Come bring your ass up here, bro. Come. We need to hear your words. Come, bro. I dropped the link. Come. I don't know if you got a chance to hear the whole thing, but come on up because your ears are bothering you. So come on, bro. So, what do you guys think about these fake chapters? Let's see what you guys have got to say in the meantime. Let me go back. Let's go back with some comments. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. She stole all the girl stories to make $1 of it off of it. Well, she said she didn't do that. She did she did read Jerron DePace's story. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How you come up here with OJ Simpson?
Oh, that's my other channel. Why you tripping off me? I use OJ's face.
Wait, you got another channel? What you talking about?
Yeah, you just type in WTOM. WYTOM. Why you tripping off me? And I got a whole bunch of stuff on there about carbonation and all that. Short film.
Oh, yo, when you get a chance, drop the link. Drop the link. When you get a chance, drop the link in the chat, puppy, so people can follow you. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's up? You see my eyes blinking?
Yes, it's awesome. What the hell did you do? How did you do that?
I'm the puppet master.
I cannot with your ass. So, what did you think about this Cash Jones book? Did you get to hear all the chapters, or you came in on some of it?
I only came in on some of it, and I heard a little bit before, but I walked in, I didn't know what was going on. I had to step to the bathroom right quick. Like, I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is
I got
Cash
a
Jones'
little
book.
I got a little uncomfortable, but this is crazy. Now, which one is who wrote the book?
Cash Jones. Now, she's not a victim. She's actually a investigative journalist.
Oh, okay.
And I did a live the other day, and she came in the chat, and she came up and spoke her piece and everything about situations that was going around, and kind of clearing up some rumors and hashing out some situations between certain parents.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, she came up. So this is her book. I don't know if you caught that live, but yeah, this is her book. And what happened was YouTube took down my one video that had certain chapters because it was really graphic. So I was trying to read it as best as I could without being so graphic. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And you can get a copyright strike from books too.
Yeah, no, but it was okay. She didn't strike me or anything like that. There was no issue from her side or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Um
Sometimes
it-
it's the publishing company because, like, there's some
yes,
of my
you're absolutely right. They did
yeah.
that before with one of my girls, because she actually used the audio to Jim Derogatis' Solus.
Oh, okay.
And because she got like 3 strikes in a row because she did, like chapter by chapter, they took her whole page down in one shot.
Damn.
Yeah, my girl Wings, she did that. Yeah, man. But yeah, the copyright is real. So you gotta be
Yeah, I can't
careful.
even play some of my own music because it got some red tape involved. Even though I own my music 100%, I let some companies use it for 7 years, so they won't give me a strike. It'll just be
Like a claim.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that too. Certain things, certain videos, I was just like, it is what it is. Whatever, y'all want to take half my money, go ahead. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll be monetized next month when my strike go away from
Woo!
the
Yes,
star
that's what I
from
had
the
to do. I
star
had to
report.
wait. Congratulations, bro. I had to wait for my strike to go off too before I got monetized.
Yep, I ain't tripping because I needed 2,500 more watch time hours.
Okay.
So I say I'll ride that strike out. The person who struck me wanted $150 to remove it, and I said I'm good. I'll just ride it out.
What?
Yep.
They were
It,
fucking extorting you. Like, listen.
it was Troy Lorraine of Star in the Morning or Shot
Troy
97.
Lorraine? No
Yep.
way.
Yep.
I watch his channel. Oh, snap. Okay, thanks for telling me. I gotta watch it with his content.
Yeah, he don't play unless he give you permission. Like if he
Okay.
say it in the video, yes. But if he doesn't say it, he will. He stand by that policy. He will strike you.
Okay. Well, thank you for giving me the heads up on that because he got good content, you know. Uh,
Yep.
yeah. But how did you feel about the little stuff that you did here, Lordship?
Well, there was a confirmation from thank you about the lifestyle of Mr. Kelly and what pleasures him and what he's into. That was more confirmation on his sexuality and stuff like that.
Right now, and Cash Jones said that she herself never got involved with R. Kelly, but being that she was in the camp and was kind of getting close to the girls and the people that were around them, she, took her little things here and there of what she heard. She read Geronda's book and she kind of just went with her own flow. What do you think about that? Do
Well,
you
wait a
think?
minute. That wasn't her that slept with one of the guys.
Nope. This is not a real biography book or anything. This is a fan fiction book.
Oh, okay. Did she lie? Oh no, I mean she's not lying. We don't know the truth because they somebody she ain't gonna tell everything, right?
Right.
Look, if I've been an independent artist, trust me, she showed up and got busy with somebody. She might not have got with R. Kelly, but somebody she thought was cute and safe. I'm sure they did their little thing because you ain't gonna have no hangers on that ain't sleeping with nobody. Somebody got to sleep with somebody. I've been making music since 96. Somebody gonna sleep with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Like that's just part of the industry.
Yeah, that's why people become musicians and managers and people don't become athletes and all this shit just for people to praise them. They just want to make sure it's easier to sleep with people.
Right, right. And you could get away with it. Just sign this NDA. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Now, what you hope is they practice safe sex, but in the rock and roll industry, I noticed that the lead person will find a
You
homie.
sound a little staticky, Papito. I don't know if it's me or you.
How about now?
You still sound staticky. Does he sound staticky, guys, to you, or is it just me, y'all? Put a one in the chat if he's staticky. Yeah, he's breaking up. Right, yeah.
I got a great cell phone connection, but what I could do is switch to my mobile service. I'm on Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Switch to the mobile service, puppy. Yup. All right. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, so Diva, did you
Want to?
switch some words? Yes, I did switch some words, mommy. Like the when I kept saying like the JJ, she actually put the word in there. You know what I mean? So I had to switch it up. That's why I didn't use the F word so much. And talking about the DICK and saying the word and because that's what happened. Being that the language was too vulgar, I was doing a community violation. Lordship, you there now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, you sound much better now, baby. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead. Finish explaining what you were saying, puppy.
The big time rock and roll artists, they'll get them a wife that's really like 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 homey looking, like someone that's just seemed like she's just a good mother, not like a trophy wife. And they let the rest of the band mess with the groupies and stuff and pour champagne over the women's head. But the lead singer or the head of the band never sleeps with the groupies and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you know what? You absolutely right. That's true. The white artists, the rock and roll artists,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right. They don't do
they get a
that.
plain Jane looking chicks.
You're
You
right.
know,
It don't work that way.
yeah, just good mothers, good, warm, loving people, and then the rest of the band be off the hook.
Right, right, right. And that's how they have the groupies, passed around, right?
Yeah,
That's true. A lot of them do that. But R. Kelly didn't see it that way. He did whatever the hell he wanted to do. He wanted to snatch up little girls and shit. Yeah, no. As the years gone on, he did get wiser with selecting them. That's like his last victim was Azriel, right? According to what we know, because who knows? Um, but she was 17. You know, um, After that whole incident with Rashawn the Landfair, the fact that she was 14 years old, he did a video with her, it all was exposed. He charges were brought up against him. He beat his case, and all that happened. He did start to kind of get a little wiser. Yeah, he had Geronda Pace, but she was 16, and in Illinois, it's 17 for legal consent to have sex. So after that, he did get wise. He kind of stayed within that 17 range, 16, 17, 18-year-old range, you know. But at the end of the day, he felt like he could just get away with abusing women, period, because he got away with it. Regardless of the fact that he changed from going to 13 to 14-year-old girls to 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old girls, he still did that shit, whether it was in his past or whether it was in the future. He still did it. They're going after him for what he did in the past, basically. So, and he wised up a little bit. Like I said, he messed with Ash. She was 17. You know what I mean? He messed with Hallie Calhoun. She was 19. He messed with Dominique. She was 17. Like he stayed within that range when the future came about, like past 2010. But still, he was violent and abusive. And that's the problem. He messed with minors in his past. So that's catching up with him now. And he's been abusing these women all these years. So he's got a problem and he needs help. He needs help. What you think,
absolutely.
Kosha?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude is a trip, you know. And as long as he could pay people off and stuff, he got away with it.
Right.
He
That was the thing.
and he can't. You know what? He really don't lie. He just deflect. He deep down, he really want to be a righteous person, but he can't. He has some kind of sickness
You're
because
right.
he never said he was innocent. So that proves that he know wrong from right. He just said I beat
That's
my
right.
case.
He just said what? Repeat that again.
He only said I beat my case, but he never said I was innocent.
Right. Exactly. He's never actually said I'm innocent. He just said, y'all don't want to believe the truth.
And when they asked him, did he like teenage girls? He had a serious face and said, "What age are we talking about?" And this is when he was like 40 or something. Like, what do you mean? What age are we talking about?
Right. Like you're maybe, yeah, right. He was about like 30, 39, 40, 41, something like that. You're right.
Yeah.
And how you talking about it's okay. I'm 41, but I can have 19-year-old friends. It's okay. He. What? Listen, I'm 46. I do not have any 19-year-old friends. Do
Yeah,
you?
I don't think so. I mean,
I should hope not.
well, yeah, but I'm in a couple of industries. Still, like I'm in the personal grooming industry and the music industry. So I do run across young people, But I try to mentor them. I'm happily married and all that stuff, and I'm not thirsty. I think in another life I was a gigolo because I always feel like I'm putting out and getting nothing in return. I'm just keeping it
Oh
real.
shit. Yeah. But all right, so you've been in the industry, you being in the industry. Have you yourself ever witnessed any shady shit? Like you ain't gotta
Yeah.
mention names of people,
Well,
just
I could
like
tell you a story. I could tell you a story. I was at one of those
okay.
music conventions, and since this guy is not here no more, I was at one of those music conventions called it like the Gavin Convention, and I in Drez from Black Sheep was there, Guru, a bunch of people like that, and I was backstage, and then there was another room that was backstage, right? Now, Guru's supposed to be Muslim, and Premier was with him, and we in the secondary isolated exclusive backstage, and there are people getting lap dances from strippers and stuff, right? And I got my drinks. I'm drunk as hell, and I'm like, if you're Muslim or whatever, and you're backstage around these strippers and stuff, you must not be that religion. I don't have to really respect your religion because you're here. You know what I'm saying?
You're
So
absolutely right.
so also I felt that we was off the record. There's no press or nothing. So I felt like I could ask him anything and he wouldn't be offended because we're not even we're not here. You see what I'm saying? So I really like this singer named India Davenport from England. She was with a group called the Brand New Heavies. And he did a song with her on the Jazzmatazz album. And I said, hey Guru, did you fuck India Davenport?
Oh
But I was drunk.
no.
But I was drunk. You know, that's no excuse. That's no excuse. But I'm like, you back here with these women and people sleeping with people in the bathroom and shit. I'm thinking none of if I ask you a question here, I didn't ask you a question. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And he's
right,
and he
right.
and so he came up to me with this, you know how Guru is. He said, no, son, it was strictly professional, and I was offended that you asked me that.
Right. I used to love Guru, okay? Guru was the shit. All
Yep.
right. Back in the 90s. Okay.
Yeah,
That
so
was my
I saw
boy.
him. I knew they was going to break up. I seen him arguing with Premier and refused to perform one day out here, and Premier had to do a DJ set with the best of Premier remixes, and I walked out because I didn't come to see that. I wanted to see Guru, and that was the second show that night at a different location in the same city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it was funny how, and also I'm an independent artist, but sometimes I get mistaken as a regular artist, but I'm with the underground. But the way I carry myself, people don't know who I am. So I've gotten backstage many a times and kicked out of backstage many a times. So one day I was backstage at one of those what do you call them, House of Soul concerts type of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The House of Soul concerts. Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you who was on the bill. Ah, the lady with
Q-Tip, probably. Brand
nah,
Nubian.
these was mostly singers like the lady Angie Stone,
Oh,
uh
okay.
Lettucey, Carl Thomas.
Oh, love Carl Thomas.
Yeah, and I can't think of everybody, but Carl Thomas went first. And so it's an old theater, so the booths are really tiny. I don't know how Angie Stone whole band fat and they hot boxing up in there, and she looked like she was the parent of her band. Like
What?
like the band looked like they could be her kids. Like one could be her husband and the rest could be the kid. But anyway, Carl Thomas sat on a hotel van in the back of the theater because he didn't have a booth and he was the opening act and he was the only one that didn't have a band. He had to use a ADAT machine to play his music. So I'm backstage and there's no reason for me to be back there. If I stayed on the stage in the back, I would have been cool. But I was down where the dressing rooms are, and only the radio station with catered food and the people who won the radio contest is there. So they trying to figure out who
Okay.
I am. So the shit is funny. So Carl Thomas looked high as fuck. He looked like
Really?
he looked like his eyes was sitting in sardine oil.
He smoked that many blunts, or was he drinking that hard?
And he looked at like man, like anyway, so when it was his turn, he got out of the van and walked through the backstage door and walked on stage and started singing. And his background singers was very good. And then the ADAP machine broke. And then he started singing a cappella, and everybody thought that was part of the show. And his
Oh
manager
wow.
and his manager was trying to get them to get the machine to work and cussing at him and hitting on the machine. And before he finished his set, the machine started working and he got to do 3 more songs.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. But at least he continued, he did the right thing. He continued, he didn't stop it and let it stop his flow, yo.
That's professional.
Mm-hmm. That's what you
Uh,
do as a real professional. Absolutely. Absolutely.
you want to hear a
So
quick one? You want to hear a quick one about Bobby Brown?
DC was the shit, she said. Black girl beauty.
Oh yeah, I used to see her when she was for free. But her best concert was with Michelle and Dago Ocello at the Greater America Music Hall 2 days in a row.
Oh wow, I never knew about that.
Yeah, but yeah, she cool. Now I went to one of those first reunion concerts of New Edition, and a friend of mine would used to be their stage manager. So we went to a restaurant afterwards where he had like a little birthday party, and they sectioned off a section for him. But they were playing Mexican electronic music because it was like a Mexican electronic club in San Jose. And so he's sitting up with one of his ex-girlfriends from back in the day while he was married to Whitney. He's sitting up on a booth. And somebody took a picture, and the security went for all the exits, and then they went for him, and they took his film out the camera, and then they let him go. And his sister was there. His sister, yeah, we done. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's
His
okay.
his sister was there, and she looked like if they both wasn't in the room at the same time, I would have thought his sister was him in drag. His sister looked just like him.
Really? Really?
his sister
OMG.
his sister looked just like him, like she's a twin. And I
Wow.
like I
A
like
Shanae,
man,
huh?
I'm telling you. And we could have got on the tour bus in the parking lot when the club closed, but I said to myself, I know better. I'll be the one who wake up and I'm looking at the sky, and then I realize I'm laying on my back in the parking lot, and I wonder what the fuck happened because they was going to Sacramento after they left San Jose, and they had got fined $10,000 that night because Bobby Brown went into overtime and he mooned the audience with his bare ass.
What?
they
What?
they have a union, and
Bare ass? Like
yeah,
bare ass? Like he was all out, ass out?
yeah, he stole the
Oh
show,
shit.
and he went into overtime, and they have strict union rules. Like this is the stuff that people don't hear or see. All they know is they getting a good show, but the unions have strict rules, and if you go overtime or anything, they get fined like $10,000. And the lead dancer choreographer for Bobby Brown, but as soon as he got off the stage, within 15 minutes, she was at the Fairmont, or 30 minutes, she was at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco sleeping while everybody else is, partying after. And so the real professionals go straight to bed. You know what I'm saying? They don't mess around.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. You know, R. Kelly had a wife, Andrea. Why couldn't he just keep his wife, and do like what rock and roll people would do, and just have the groupies mess around with his people and be a decent man? I mean, like,
Yeah, is that so hard? I think nobody
that's
told.
the
You know what it
normal
is?
sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look at Ozzy Osbourne. She got a make his wife got a makeover. She was never a glam girl like that. She
Right.
would never that glammed up for television in the series, but
I love his wife.
she was way down to earth and a business lady, and she was never prissy like that. You know what I'm saying?
And she
And
knew everything her husband was doing. She stood right by his side. As long as he knew what his family was and where he belonged, she didn't have an issue. And he
yeah,
wasn't messing with little
unfortunately,
girls.
no. But his lifestyle had an influence on his children, and
A
they
lot
had
of drugs.
yeah. But you know, I don't know. That's you're the children of a very famous rock and roll artist from the fucking 60s and shit. So your
Right,
life was kind of doomed already.
right.
You was kind of set up, you know, because even people like LL First Child and all of them was hooked on drugs, And LL Cool J son said, I would give everything back, jewelry, clothes, mini bikes, whatever, just for 1 hour with my dad. I don't care about the vacations, the clothing, none of that shit. The PlayStations, none of that shit.
Wow. Wow. That's deep. You know, like in this book, she was saying that she wanted to be the only girl, and she wanted him to get rid of everyone else. And he wouldn't do that. And I can actually see that really being R. Kelly. Like Andrea was probably like begging him to let these girls go, leave them alone. I want you to myself. And I'm pretty sure she complained about a lot of stuff. And he just didn't want to listen. He wanted to do what he wanted to do.
But why put your body? Why put yourself at risk though? Why risk your health? You know,
Right. As an artist, you're supposed to protect yourself, your image. He should have known that, but he instead relied on his enterprise to do that for him.
I really think that he only sung so he could have sex with whoever he wanted to. I don't think he really singing was just a way to make money, but he didn't care about that. It just that's a tool he can use to get to people.
Right. That's exactly what the government was proving, that he used his people to get him girls because they needed to feed his appetite, and his appetite was sex, and his preference was younger girls. Period.
I don't know how. I don't know. I don't want to sound crazy, but why put yourself through? I mean, it's it's not easy to sleep with an adult lady. So why would you try to sleep with a little girl? It's even harder. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for him it was easier because they were willing to just do as they were told.
Right, but I'm telling you, me, if I well, shit, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but if I can't get in you within the first 5 minutes or so, I'm kind of like, man, fuck it.
But you were doing this with women, not little girls. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. So little girls, it got to be. I don't want to imagine that, but it got to be even more difficult. And there's no stimulating conversation or anything.
There's no stimulating. Well, in his mind, there is, because according to his mitigation report, he has the mind of a third grader.
Well, I'm not going to try to sleep with you while listening to Migos in the background. I'm good.
No, the best had to be the video had the NSYNC playing in the background. I think it was NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. Really?
Yeah. That's crazy. I'm not gonna have, I can't do it. I gotta have, some Isley Brothers or something. Some old
No, no, no Isley Brothers. No Isley
all right,
Brothers.
all right, some Roberta Flack or something.
Why didn't he play his own music?
I know, huh? You know, because sometimes people be tripping. I'm not going to sleep with you playing. Turn the music. I'm not going to f you with your own music. I used to hear that, but yeah, you know, it's a trip. Life is a trip, and you reap what you sow.
Yeah, I was.
What's in the dark will come to light.
That's right. What's done in the dark will come to the light, and it's coming to the light, and he's getting it. Um, and a lot of these supporters are just so delusional, or they really just don't want to believe that this man can be this monster.
Well, they have similar lifestyles. I mean, you can't personalize it with like you know just like that other guy, that co-leader. These people are different. They're not normal. So don't try to personalize their situation with your own because they're not normal people. You see what I'm saying? They don't think like you. You know, like that dude, Nature Boy. He thinks
Right.
a he thinks a clitoris is a miniature penis. So how can you work with that? You see,
Uh,
you can't you can't work with that. So these people are different, and when they say, "I just want to see my daughter," I just want to, you know, what I'm saying, and blah blah blah. You don't know why he want to see his daughter. He's different. He don't think like you. You know, he's different.
right,
So R. Kelly thinks differently. You cannot imagine what is in his mind and how he justifies what he does. You
right,
know, the fact that he had no empathy for the girl that he burnt, that showed that he's out there like a psychopath. You know,
right. He's a psychopath. He's a sociopath, a psychopath. He's narcissistic. It's a lot.
look what you
And
made me do. Look what you done to me.
I given
You
you
made me
30
hit you.
years.
Go ahead. You
I
made
give
me
you.
choke you.
Y'all killing me with this shit, man.
You killing out. He started speaking about himself as a third person.
As a third person, always. That's a sign that he definitely has multiple personalities.
Yeah. Bless
Definitely.
bless his heart. You know, I hope he get the help he needs and come to terms with the crimes he has committed. The only thing that brought him down was modern technology evolving because he was using
The
8 millimeter
cameras.
eight he was using 8 millimeter film and
His iPhones,
yeah,
tablets.
he was
Yeah.
using cameras you got to change the film in the dark room and
Right.
it
Right.
didn't have
Back in the 90s, he sure did.
yeah so
He modernized the technology as years went on.
yeah, he walked around with a bag full of VHS tapes.
What is that?
And
And
then
then
he went to 8 millimeter, then he went to DV, and then he went to digital,
digital, that's the last, the
and he went
digital.
to SD, and
Right.
then he went to then he went to regular cloud memory. That's where he got caught. Cause see, you delete that shit off your phone, it still may be on the cloud.
It was
And
still in the clouds. Everything is
yeah,
in the fucking clouds.
and when you do it with a phone, everything is geo timestamp, dated, location, the IP address that you uploaded from,
Right.
everything, time, location. So they even knew he uploaded from the bedroom, from his child's bedroom.
Yeah, right. And what do you think about this super fan situation? Have you heard about it?
For him,
Yeah, the whole situation with the super fan, Debowski.
the ones that be fighting each other and all that stuff.
Yeah, those guys.
Well, they are very like him. They identify with him. They're upset because somebody who represent them has fallen.
Right,
A lot of these people are not that talented, but they represent a minority within a minority. And when they get on stage and stuff, they go, "Hey, that's one of our boys up there. That's my people up there." You see,
right.
and you can represent the whole South or the whole Midwest, or you
The
can
whole state of Chicago, right,
right because I they kept saying he was a superstar and all that stuff, and
right.
he's not a superstar. You know,
Not anymore. He's a
and
has been.
yeah, but even before, he could go places in Europe and only 30 people show up. They trying to make it seem like he feels.
Well, unless he went to Africa. I mean,
Well, they act like he could do like Rick James and go to Hamburg and fill up a whole, stadium or something.
right.
You want to see a real concert, a real star? Rick James, 1982 in Hamburg, Germany, or Little Richard in France, where he
Mm.
throw, where he act like he gonna throw his coat in the crowd, and all these men are fighting for his coat. That's a superstar,
Or people passing out, like with Michael Jackson.
right? And Michael Jackson hated touring.
He did. He really did. He said he hated it.
Yep,
He hated it. It was too much for him. It was too
that's
much.
why I believe he's still alive.
Well, R. Kelly, what?
Yep, we can talk another day about that. We
Uh,
just be on the panel. Let me know.
you crazy. What? Are you really saying that right now?
I do a video once a month about Michael Jackson being alive.
I didn't even peep that. I got to go back.
Yep.
What are you talking about, crazy guy?
Well, his ID is missing, and the coroner lied and said he used his ID to name the body, and then the life insurance won't honor the life insurance, and nobody knows where he's buried.
Really?
And the
Well, I
coroner the
believe it's
coroner
because
doesn't
that's
work there.
supposed to be private. They isn't he buried in California?
No, and he used a California ID that said Michael Joseph Jackson, and that person don't exist. Only Michael Joe Jackson exists.
The father.
No, Michael Joe Jackson is Michael Jackson.
Oh, I didn't know his middle name was Joe.
Yeah, but they used Joseph on the death certificate, and they used Joseph in court. And so the judge said, alleged victim Michael Joseph Jackson, Comrade Murray. She said, Comrade so and so Murray, you're guilty of manslaughter or whatever of the alleged victim Michael Joseph Jackson.
Mm. I
So
didn't. Okay.
alleged. So everybody covered their tracks.
Right.
The judge said alleged, just in case that he comes out of nowhere, right?
Right.
And then Conrad Murray said, when I came back in the room, it seemed like it was a different person. He looks like a cancer hospice patient.
Oh
And then
wow.
and then the coroner said, I wasn't there to pronounce the death, but my staff did. And even though they don't have the authority, they work for me. I train them and I trust what they written down, and I'm going to honor that. And then I wrote the name based on the ID that was handed to me that said Michael Joseph Jackson. Now, information came out that Latoya's husband stole a bunch of articles, including his ID, from the house. So the coroner lied about having the ID, period. And the coroner, they asked him, what you do with the ID? He said, I mailed it back to Sacramento. But if you do a search, because it's all public record, there's no person named Michael Joseph Jackson. And if you go into Wikipedia, it says Michael Jackson, sometimes called Michael Joseph Jackson, but there's no information before his death that says Joseph. And I have his Motown ID. I even have his Grand Malibu Grand Prix ID, all his California IDs and passport and all that. And Visa, it all says Michael Joe Jackson. The
Oh
visas,
wow.
the passports, the social security card, the California ID, Malibu, even going back to when he was 5 at Motown, his work ID says Michael Joe Jackson.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, I'm gonna end this live. We got 3 more minutes. I just wanted to see what you guys were thinking about this book. Um, Missy says here, used his musical talent to seduce young girls, boys into sexual situations for his sickening sexual gratification. He sure did.
Indeed. It seems that's what they all kind of do. That's why I never sent a demo to a major label. Either they want to sleep with you or they want to raise you up and kill you and make money off of you. You know, they want to blow you up, then kill you. They don't want you unless you have a drug habit or something anyway. so they could get rid of you and just say you OD.
Right.
In the beginning, there was only a few artists that were just regular artists that came over maybe from the church or something. All the other artists were ex prostitutes and dope fiends. See, the pimps became record label owners, and so the first person they go to is the people that work for them, either their hoes or the dope fiends. And believe it or not, and um you might agree with me on this. There's a lot of dope fiends that are talented and a lot of hookers that are talented, but they just didn't get their calling. They didn't make it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No,
So
you're right. You're right.
yeah, so I'm dead
Right.
serious. I'm not no shade and I'm not judging, but a lot of these girls would have been on the street corner if they wasn't on the stage. And so the pimp, the label owner feel like they saving them for the streets, and they only give them what they want to give them, just like if they was hooking, just like in Hustle Flow. Hustle Flow was saying a lot, you
Yeah,
know.
some of these because I mean, some of these groupies are actually prostitutes. Like, they follow these bands around, and they are actual street workers in their own hometown. So they're used to being passed around. It's okay. They don't see it as any type of abuse. They just see it as partying, having fun, and being with their favorite group.
Yeah, but check it out. It'd be the same women. Like, all right, let's say when Eddie Murphy was 19, right?
Right.
They were 19 they were 19-year-old groupies, right? All
Right.
right, now Eddie Murphy grow up, and now you got a younger comedian or whatever, right? Well, that girl is 40 now. She's still chasing the 20-year-old and shit like that. 20 to 25-year-old.
I
They
mean, we got groupies of all ages. I mean, the groupies sometimes will remain groupies,
their
but
whole life.
they won't be right. But they won't be picked in the back anymore.
Right.
They won't go into the VIP. They won't go into the meet and greets. They'll overlook them and be like, "Oh, no, 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 this young girl right here."
Yep. But some of them is old pros and they still be there even though they done grew 10, 15 years. They still chasing the newest young hot thing trying to seduce them.
Trophy girlfriends. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I mean Stacey Dash played a teenager from age 29 to age 39. She
Yeah,
played a
like
teenager in high school.
she's still to this day looks like a baby.
Yeah, and then she has the voice. So if
Right.
you can do it, do it. But there's no retirement plan. If nobody ain't married you in 15 years, you might not want to be. I mean, isn't it expensive to be a professional groupie?
Yes, because you have to travel. You have to travel and follow these bands around.
Yeah,
And
you might as
then
well be a
you got to
paparazzi.
get lucky to get in to get tickets, or you got to get lucky to be able to get in the tour bus so that you can be waiting in the tour bus while they're in the concert. And when they get out the concert, you're there.
That's crazy. These people want to be God. They want to be God-like, and that's the only problem with actors and entertainers. They want to feel like God, and they let it go to their head. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Their ego grows, expands. Now they're more controlling, and, everything has to be perfection. Everything has to be my way or the highway. A lot of these stars, I mean, you have to control your environment. You do, if you want things to flow the right way.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I get it. But you shouldn't be controlling to where now you're abusing your staff.
exactly. I mean, the people that run their shit the right way, they don't have no problems.
Right,
That's all.
right, right.
It ain't hard to be legit. I mean, look, Carlos Santana, he used to require a $500,000 budget to do a concert where everybody get a hotel room and the guitars get tuned and the microphones get placed and they do sound check and they travel with a family, tour buses and everything. You don't hear no scandals about Carlos Santana.
Right, right, right. You know, uh, It's crazy. I just say the Chicago case that's coming up for R. Kelly is gonna bury him. Totally. He's totally done. Um, I think that these supporters should just keep his memory alive if that's what they want to do, and stop trying to protect him, because there is no more protecting this man. He's done. That's it. He is done. There is no more protecting this man. There is no more protecting predators. It's time that every single last one of them gets locked up, especially in this industry.
I think that some of his supporters do feel that he shouldn't go down alone. Like, okay, all right, he
I
killed.
get that. I get that. I get that too. I don't think he should be going down alone. But at the end of the day, he's the one that did this to himself. He's the head CEO,
That's true,
the
and I'm
man
tired of
in
them
charge.
calling
So
him
everybody that did something was under his direction.
right, and I'm tired of them calling him a mega star, superstar phenomenon. Because this guy right here, OJ, he didn't make one music record, but he can afford $50,000 a day in court fees. And while he was incarcerated, he made 7 million. While he was on trial, he made 7 million just signing his autographs on jerseys and footballs.
Yeah,
That's
well, he
that's a
also killed
superstar.
his wife and her friend.
Well, I don't believe that, but
I sure do. Can you believe for the first time I saw the movie that he made from his book?
all right,
Oh
but he didn't
my
name
God, I can't.
but he didn't name the book. He signed over the rights to the book, and
Yeah,
they
yeah, he did. They made the book, but yeah.
but no, they put the name on the book. He didn't name the book that name. Once he sold it, they could name it whatever they wanted to name it. And did you see the story about her from her perspective? Did you know
I didn't
that
get to see the story from her
oh
side. I saw the story from um the actual like the oh man, I forgot what was the name. The Lifetime one, the actual Lifetime one that came out, the very first one that came out. And then just recently I seen the one pertaining to his book.
yeah.
And he was trying to make it seem like Nicole was having nightmares. She was heavy into drugs, and she was sleeping around with her best friend and everybody else and all these things, and that this guy Charlie is the one who came to kill her. Yes, OJ seen Charlie. He knew who Charlie was, but he wasn't there. It was weird. I
Nah,
don't believe
see,
him.
this is what it was, but this may not
He's
be
a
true.
murderer.
All right, but check it out. There, the one of the lawyers for OJ is like he's like the Godfather in L.A. Like in Hollywood. He's like an Armenian Godfather. Instead of being Italian, he's whatever he is. The Kardashians, what are they?
Right, right.
Armenian. All right, so he's like the Godfather there. He can make anything happen. That's why he was OJ's lawyer, and that would help him get off because he's like the Godfather. He's like Melvin Belli. Look him up.
Right.
One of
He's like Daryl McDavid on R.
yeah,
Kelly's side.
but 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 the Armenians had established themselves in Hollywood a long time ago. They was a part of Hollywood that was undeveloped and nobody wanted to live there. And they moved there after escaping their country, and they built stores, carpet country companies doing carpet and rugs and stuff like that, and bought real estate. And they embedded themselves into politics in Los Angeles and the government a long time ago. Matter of fact, in their country,
I
they
believe OJ did that shit.
well, check it out. There's a dude, a Armenian hitman that's a little nutsy. He was staying next door to Nicole because he had killed the owner of the house, and he was just living there. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, there's a movie about the whole thing. There was an Armenian hitman, a serial killer, that was living next to Nicole after killing the girl that lived there.
Oh
And
yeah, I know what you're talking about. The guy, Charlie. His
yeah,
name was Glenn.
now he bumped into Charlie at the restaurant,
Right.
and he said they go to that dude is sleeping with your wife. He's like, yeah, I wish I could kick his ass. I'm just paraphrasing. He's
Right.
like, well, look, I can rough or you can watch. I'll just beat his ass, right? But I think he knows the lawyer. I think he done work for the lawyer before. You see what I'm
I
saying?
think that was just a fake story. I don't know. I want to research on that guy Glenn and see his story.
Well, you know that what's the name have Nicole's jewelry and all that stuff. And in the movie, they tried to make her look like a saint. Kim Kardashian's mother, they made her look like Mother Teresa in this movie that I saw.
Yeah,
So
that
that
was the one. That was the one with. It was just. That was the one that OJ did. He made her look like she was a perfect mom. She was Nicole's best friend. Nicole was there with her, and they were all hunky dory. And uh,
yeah, but in real life, she has Nicole's jewelry. You see what I'm saying?
right.
And that dude, she caught him talking to himself in the living room, and she kicked him out the house. She called the police, and the police said, if you get to know a guy before you sleep with him, you might not have this problem. We getting tired of coming out to your house every time you fall out with a guy. You see what I'm saying? That's what the police said. Now,
Right. Yeah,
those,
because they were like, those cops were on OJ's side, so they were not
but
even
wait,
with the wife
nah,
at all.
they hate OJ. Those some skinheads. I mean, they don't. The white cops don't like OJ. Look, when
Nah, they protected him. They sure did. They sure did protect his ass because there's a lot of stuff that they could have done to protect Nicole and they didn't.
well,
Just because she was married to him and he was OJ.
all right, but I don't. Nobody, the neighbors didn't even like Nicole. You see what I'm saying? They didn't like her until she was dead. All of a sudden, she was a beautiful neighbor, a beautiful person. We loved her, but they all thought she was trash. The neighbors, did nobody? He snatched her up from Texas, Paris, Texas. Californians are snobs. They're snobby. They're cliquey. She was never accepted in Brentwood. You
Right.
see what
She
I'm
was
saying?
like 19 when he met her.
Yeah, she had no class and no connections. They did not respect her. They thought she was trash. Just imagine going to all the restaurants and stuff and people looking at you funny and stuff like that.
Kayla has a question. Did you see Mike Jackson's daughter on AHS? A
Uh-uh. I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see that. What was that about? My son just
Look,
asked me what book
nobody,
I
hardly
wanted.
nobody in his family saw the body. His mother ain't seen the body. Several people in his family never saw the body. And then the makeup artist said that his lips and his nose and his hair was missing. And a guy in Italy proved that the ambulance picture was fake because the ambulance had mirror windows. And because it took so long for the ambulance to get out the driveway and it never turned on the siren, I think Michael Jackson was driving.
Right, right. And Kayla says, yeah, his arthritis was really bad, but when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't feel pain. You don't feel that shit.
Well, look, he was there um, when the guy beat up on Nicole and the other guy, but OJ got cut by the guy because the boy because he didn't expect because dude was a martial artist. He thought he was a punk. Dude can fight, so
Right,
he
right. He
cut.
was a martial artist, right?
Right, so he cut OJ. And OJ, oh, he was like, oh, I didn't sign up for this, and he ran. Now the crazy Armenian dude, serial killer, he's like, "Oh, you gonna leave me holding the bag? Well, fuck it then. I'm finna really make it look good." And he killed both of them. So he's guilty
That's
of knowing.
crazy. And it's crazy how this murder is still not solved.
He don't know how to do a Cuban necktie or whatever. What kind of necktie was it?
I don't even remember.
All right, it's a special. Have you ever seen the pictures?
No, of
All
the
right, somebody who loves killing did it. You can see the passion and the bodies. They gave him with the tongue. They pulled the tongue out through the neck. He don't know how to do that shit. That's mafia shit.
There was his tongue was out of his neck. I don't remember that. What?
Well, they do the Cuban. I think they call it a Cuban necktie or some shit like that.
Okay.
They were done by somebody who's like a MMA fighter. That Armenian dude enjoys killing, and he was bulked up, and he's done many hits, and he got away scot free because they hire him in probably in the Armenian community to do dirt for them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, look at what Robin said. Robin said his homie and someone else helped. She said, I'm convinced if it was one-on-one, Ron would have beat OJ's ass. That's
Oh yeah, because Ron already cut him. Ron had a knife. OJ said like a girl, like, I've been cut. Oh shit, I'm not. This ain't me. I'm out. Yeah. So then
ran like a bitch.
Right.
He ran like a bitch.
So imagine if you was the dude, like he was just gonna slap him around, rough him up, and then it was gonna go. But when OJ got cut, he left dude hanging. Dude is a nutcase. He was upset, and he already lived next door. You see what I'm saying? And already killed the owner of next door and lived there.
Right. He killed the one girl, right?
So he was like, that's the second girl in town that he killed. Another girl he killed in the car and set the car on fire.
Right, yeah, the girl on car. You're right, yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, oh, this N-word want to play me like that? Well, I'm finna play him. And he sliced and diced them and I think he cut their throat and pulled their tongue through the throat. You see? They call that some kind of necktie. So I'm not saying that he's innocent in a way that he knew nothing about it and he just, my wife is dead. He was
right,
there,
but he just didn't do it himself personally.
Right. He didn't know it was going to go that far because he left the scene with a crazy person. He left a crazy person there to clean up the mess. It was done for him. That's why he had time to get in the car, go in the airport, because dude is there doing his shit. But I don't believe OJ paid him or told him to do it.
He just did it because he was just a fucking crazy psycho anyway.
And he was left
and he liked her.
And
didn't he have sex with her?
Oh yeah, he hit it before.
He had sex with her.
But
right.
Right. He had a reason. He had motive because
according to OJ's story, right.
She kicked him out the house. She called the police on him and kicked him out the house because he was talking to himself downstairs. When she came downstairs, it spooked her. And she didn't even know his name. She didn't know his first name or last name. And
right. She just knew his name was Glenn. That was it.
And he was doing contract work for her.
Right, doing the painting of her apartment, her house.
Yeah, now at first I thought Faye Resnick, I thought it was behind Faye Resnick. I thought she stole a half a key and tried to hide at Nicole's house, but from her ex-boyfriend. But I scratched that theory after I saw this movie. That's my new theory.
Right. Mira, look at what Robin said. She said, she said she's smoking and she just looked at Lordship's avatar.
Well, I feel like his facial expression represents the struggle of the brothers. For that one moment, he was a brother for that little short period. That should be like on the flag. That's that. Look at that. That's the struggle of what brothers go through. But he didn't have to deal with it that long. He was able to afford a fair trial. That's all he got. He just got a fair trial and he could afford it. Right. But R. Kelly can't afford $50,000 a day. He can't afford the best lawyers.
Right now he can't because he has so many tax liens and all these things going on that his money's being distributed everywhere else that needs to be paid off first.
Yeah, and when people believe that sex workers can't be raped or spouses can't be raped, some people believe that.
Spouses can be raped. They get raped all the time.
That's right. And sex workers can be raped also.
Yes. All the time. It happens all the time.
That's why the Mann Act was created, because
exactly
if his people want to say like we're saying that these girls were they
Explain to Kayla who's Glenn when you finish your statement.
this guy he he looks sick. Like I don't know who they cast to play his part, but this dude looked like trouble. And he's built like an MMA fighter. And he was doing contract work for a girl next door to Nicole, and he killed her. And he told everybody she went on vacation. And then I work at my house. He do some work with me. And then she started sleeping with him. And then she caught him talking to himself downstairs like a crazy person. And she kicked him out. And he came back and tried to bust through the door, but she called the police on him. And the police said, "You don't even know his name. Like, come on. Like, who is this dude? You know, right?"
Right,
So
right. I remember that.
so he already had an incentive to do her in because he killed two ladies that did nothing to him. Here's a lady that did something to him. And
Right.
then a black dude left him holding the bag, and he was just trying to do the black dude a favor. He left him holding the bag.
Right.
They both were stalking her, and they bumped into each other at the restaurant.
Right. That's what it was. They were both stalking her and they bumped each other into each other in the restaurant. He looked at him. He looked at him and was like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And he explained who he was looking at for. And he was like, "I know that's your wife. She's cheating on you or some shit." He said,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
don't
I've
let
seen that movie. Yeah."
Don't let those Samsonite commercials fool you. They use a stuntman to jump over those those
What?
suitcases. Yeah, they use a stuntman for that. He didn't jump over those suitcases.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course. Oh yeah, of course he. Yes, of course.
Look, that boy was strong and he was conditioned. He was a fighter and he was a dope dealer. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He
He
was
he
selling
probably
drugs from the restaurant. Right? Is
yeah,
that what it was?
yeah, he was delivering an eight ball or a quarter T, saying that he was delivering sunglasses. That shit sound ridiculous. He gonna come all the way over there for some sunglasses. He was bringing.
Well, the
Uh,
sunglasses were on the floor. How can you say that? The sunglasses were on the floor in the yard. They found the glasses on the
yeah,
floor
was that she left the glasses because he had to
in the
re up.
restaurant.
He needed a reason to come over there.
it
He he had
was
to
the mother's sunglasses.
what they usually do is they tape the dope underneath the plate of the dinner plate, and you raise the plate up and grab it and put it in
Yeah,
your pocket.
yeah, you grab it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how they were doing it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? But he ran out. He had to re up, and he needed an excuse, so he told the employees, "Hey, I'm going to take her glasses." You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. This theory sounds crazy, but okay.
But look, that other cop had a trophy. He had a skinhead trophy case with awards for all the dirt he's done over the years. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to think. Did they show his house? I don't even remember. I think so.
Well, one of the cops had a glass trophy case full of skinhead or third right or whatever trinkets that he was awarded over his dedication to being, a racist or whatever. So there's no telling what he did to earn those stripes and how much dirt he's done on the police force. Because they caught, remember the Rampart scandal? That's why they didn't find Tupac's murderer or Biggie's murders because they paid 250 million for a Rampart scandal. And so if they found Biggie's murderer, they would have to pay the Wallace family 400 million, and they don't want to do that. They just lost 250 million from the LAPD. So those murders will never be solved. So um, that cop
That
was
I believe that. I believe that those murders would never be solved. The cops were involved. They knew what was going on. They let it happen. I
they
think
didn't
that's
want
what
to
it
pay.
was.
They didn't want to pay in the civil case because the Wallace family would have sued civilly, and they would have had to pay the amount of money he would have made if he was still alive over a lifespan. And they came up
Right,
with a figure of $400 billion.
right. It was really weird, the whole thing of how he got away with it, man. I think it was all a setup. The cops helped him get away with it. That's what I
Well,
think.
well, who you think killed him? Was it
I definitely think it was OJ. I definitely think it was OJ. I don't care if this guy knew karate or not. I honestly think that OJ did that shit, yo.
what's the white boy name? What's his name?
Kato Kalin.
No, the dude, the gigolo, coke dealer.
Oh, I don't remember his name. I know who you're talking about. Her friend, the guy, the coke dealer.
Well, he
I don't
he
remember what his name was. Shit.
he. I don't think OJ could beat him.
Oh, Ron was the
Ron,
guy.
yeah,
Ron, Ron,
Ron.
Ron, Ron,
I
Ron.
don't think OJ could beat him. I
Well, if you come across somebody with a knife, because he just came out and just stuck him, like just straight. He didn't even give him a chance. He just
no
started sticking
Ron.
him right away.
Ron stabbed OJ in the hand right away. OJ put his hands like he's gonna fight him.
He was
And,
blocking and he got sliced. Right.
right. So it's 2-on-1. You see what I'm saying? So OJ got sliced and was like, my God, and ran, and wrapped his hand up and shit, and ran. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, I think he was just sloppy and didn't know what he was doing. He's not a real murderer. And I think he injured himself in the process.
Yeah, but the murder was done with a the murder wasn't a sloppy, it was a stylish killing. It was like somebody who does killing as an art form.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, the murder.
For
You look
me,
at
it
the
was a crime of passion, is how I saw it.
oh,
That's what it looked like to me.
he would
That's
have.
what it looked like to me. A
For
crime
me,
of
he would.
passion.
I think he would have killed her long ago when he was more agile, more healthier. This dude couldn't even get a boner. Like he's not. You know what I'm saying? These football players be fucked up, man. They be fucked up. I'm telling you, after years of playing ball and stuff like that, they be fucked up. He was defenseless. He couldn't beat Ron Brown. Ron Brown fucking do yoga. He probably did a bump before he went over there. He work out. He know martial arts. He can't fuck with him. But a crazy Armenian serial killer.
I that's crazy. I'm gonna look up that guy because it's weird. I don't know. But anyway, I'm about to end this live. Thank you so much, Lordship, for coming up, sweetheart.
Thanks for having me. I
Yes,
appreciate
you're welcome. I'm glad this was the first time you actually like. I think one time. No, no, no. Did you come on one time and you had issues?
No, I think I read the transcript. No?
Did you come here when you? I think you were here one of those times, but you didn't come up on the panel. I think you did one time, but you had issues and then you stayed in the chat. Um, but thank you for coming up, Uppy. So I'm glad you finally had a chance to come up and hang out with me for a few.
Yeah, don't let this be the last time. I really
No,
appreciate it.
don't let this be the last time. That's right. The next time you in the chat and I drop the link, just come on up.
Yeah, we could talk about Michael Jackson death hoax.
Anything that we can conversate about, whatever it is, puppy. You got it.
I didn't do it, but if I did do it, this is how I would have done it.
That was the book, right? Okay, OJ. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, peace and hair grease.
All right, puppy. One love. Oh man, guys. His lordship took us out with OJ. I think he did that shit. I don't care what anybody say. So guys, let me end this live. Yes, you're welcome, guys. And for those who are on the replay and you have any comments, please leave your comments in the comment section. All right. Make sure it's respectful, okay? So I don't have to delete your comment and, maybe we can talk about it, all right? Guys, don't forget to hit that like button as well, please. If you're not subscribed to the channel, thank you. Please subscribe. Share the show, all right? Tell your friends about me. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you put it on all so you can receive all my videos as I upload them. And if you want to be part of my members only, please do so. Just hit the join button on the channel. And guys, if you know, as you guys know, we are doing the donations for the transcripts. So far, we are at $400. We have enough exactly for 1 day of the trial. Now we are collecting for day 2. All right, guys. So let's keep it coming, y'all. Let's keep it coming. Thank you so much for your donations. And, you know, it helps out a lot for us to be there when the Chicago trial starts for R. Kelly. And thank you guys for stopping by. I love y'all. All right, guys. Let me take you guys out with my intro, outro. Peace.